Say no, woman, no cry. Woman, no cry. So let's talk about one of the greatest bands of all time, alright, man. And of course, I'm talking about Bob Marley and the Wailers. Alright, just in my view, man, one of the greatest, obviously one of the greatest reggae bands of all time, but clearly also one of the greatest bands just of all time. And so they were composed of Bob Marley, the frontman, but also the really great guitar player Peter Tosh, who, by the way, played, in my view, one of the greatest guitar solos ever played. And of course, that's the solo to No Woman, No Cry. I know that a lot of people consider the song great from a songwriting point of view, great from even just a vocal performance. Like the Bob Marley vocal on that song was just something that's really powerful, and I mean, his performance on the Legend album was just incredible. But I think a lot of people really underrate that guitar solo. That guitar solo is biting, powerful, and it's it's a sick solo. It's a really sick solo, and it takes some listening. That's how powerful it is. It's kind of like uh, what Michael Jackson was talking about when he sang "Smooth Criminal." Like that solo hits you so smooth, like you won't realize your head has been decapitated and cut off until you try to move forward, and then your head just kind of you kind of realize like, oh man, I'm dead, I'm gone. That solo is so smooth, so slick, that people don't realize how great it is because it fits in so well with the song, and then it ties you back to go back to the to the verse and the chorus. That you don't realize just how powerful it is because it makes you anticipate the return of the vocal so well and fits in so well that you instantly forget about the solo. Like that's how great it is. But it really is one of the amazing, most amazing. Because when the solo breaks in and Peter Tosh gets in with those runs that he's doing, and he gets rolling with that, it really catches your attention. And then he tells you this story. He spins you this yarn that really ties the whole song together. And then he kind of does his solo outro, like to conclude his solo and lead back into the vocal. And you feel really great as you welcome back the vocal, and you don't realize this was all done to you by the solo. Like it really is. He really was a smooth criminal in that solo. And so you can see just the immense talent that the Wailers had. It wasn't just Bob Marley, and I feel like in a lot of ways people underrate the rest of the band, underrate Peter Tosh, underrate the other guys, that the percussion guys, the supporting vocalists, backing vocalists. Uh, but definitely the percussion on that band is just amazing. And I mean, to have a really great reggae band, you gotta have those percussion guys better be on point, right? Like you're not gonna get a really great reggae band if they can't get you the groove going, man. If you can't do the grooves and the and the frills and the fuse and all that cool stuff, on a song like Africa Unite, Africa Unite, and Bob Marley is going crazy, but you gotta have a really really great rhythm section to be able to play those really powerful reggae songs, and that's what the Wailers, Bob Marley and the Wailers, were able to do. So it was a lot more than just Bob Marley. Bob Marley obviously was a great frontman. He was so great as a frontman that you almost don't notice the rest of the band. And that's testament to a great frontman. But if you are a musician at all, you can't help but notice just how talented Peter Tosh and on the guitar, and the guys in the rhythm section, the percussion guys, the and don't get me started on uh, reggae bass players, man. Those guys are super talented, man. To really be able to lay down those smooth grooves, man, you gotta you gotta you gotta be even smoother than a smooth criminal, like Michael Jackson titled it. You gotta be really sleek, right? You gotta be really sleek, and I guess in reggae talk, you gotta be sublime, right? um, and the Wailers had all that. So they had great frontmen, great vocalist, great guitar playing, great bass player, amazing percussion, amazing drumming, man. And I think they actually brought a lot of African influence to the drumming section. I mean, in Jamaica, they're an African influenced culture. Obviously, they are African heritage, right? By heritage, and in the music, you can clearly feel that, and the Wailers also really just brought that, and even lyrically, right, with a lot of their songs like Africa Unite. Africa Unite, one of my favorite songs. There's a lot of focus on Africa, but also they talk a lot about anti-colonial drive, the anti-colonial drive against colonialism, the drive for freedom, independence, Nati Dread, Ina, Zimbabwe. As a Zimbabwean, I can't help but love the song, but just really the drive is let's get all of Africa united. Let's get all the continent progressing, and let's establish racial justice, racial equality, and stop racism. Let's stop all these endless divisions that really don't help us, and things like that. So their music, obviously, lyrically was just so conscious, right? It wasn't just music about let's just go party, let's do let's get drunk and all that. No, it was more like freedom fighting. Let's go into the bush and fight for our freedom, right? It's the rise up of the people. And with the Wailers, man, such iconic albums, man, from Legend to Rise Up, all kinds of great albums that they did, and just the songs. You can find a really great all-time great song on just about any serious Bob Marley and the Wailers album that you want to look at. You're gonna find, for me at least, I find like a really great song that ranks as one of the all-time great songs of all time on just about every Bob Marley and the Wailers album I look at. Even some of the really early stuff. And what I've noticed with a lot of bands is the early stuff is kind of where it's tricky, because they're not that good. They haven't been playing for that many thousands of hours. But with the Wailers, man, I hadn't listened to some of their really early stuff, and then I heard it like on the radio or somewhere as I'm passing by, or it's being played somewhere. I'm like, I know that's the Wailers, that's Bob Marley's voice, but that's a young Bob Marley. and listen how crazy good this sounds. And I realized, like, okay, their early stuff is, there's some golden stuff in there, and then you go digging and you find these delightful things where these guys are literally kids and they're singing amazing stuff. Now, not all of it is like that. Not all of it is golden stuff, because uh, it's kind of like Ed Sheeran said, is when you are a musician, a young artist, a young musician, a lot of the stuff you're gonna do in the early days is just gonna be junk. You just gotta do it anyway and get it out of your system. And then as you keep on doing more stuff, it's gonna get better and better. And you know, I guess Ed Sheeran is like a great musician. He really knows this, and it's true. But in the Wailers early stuff, you can absolutely find some amazing stuff that will really stay with you for pretty much all your life. So that's what I have to say, man, on one of the greatest bands of all time, Bob Marley and the Wailers.